Good morning. I'm Joe DaSilva with the Texas Pharmacy Association, CEO, and with my colleague.
I'm Justin Hudman, Senior Director of Public Affairs for TPA. We thank y'all today for joining us for our special legislative update. We're giving this a shot and we want to see what y'all think about it.
And really cover just a few bills. We will do something that's a little longer and more comprehensive in a couple of weeks, but we wanted you to see what the latest is on some of the key issues that you've been reading about in our newsletter and newsletters of a number of other organizations. So with that, let me let Justin kind of kick it off with the first issue.
Well, I'm glad I got a chance to get here. It's of course raining here in Austin, Texas right now. I don't know if that's a little bit of a play on what's about to happen tomorrow night when tons of members' bills start to die as the clock strikes midnight. Let's talk about some of the bills that we want to die. House Bill 1483, the physician dispensing bill, failed to make its calendar placement last night. When calendars met for the last time to set House bills, it wasn't placed on the calendar, which was a great thing for pharmacy. We got a lot of help from members of the legislature. We have some friends out there that really played a big role in protecting pharmacy and keeping that bill from getting placed on the House calendar. It's a good thing for us. We're happy to see that.
Let me explain a little bit. Some of you probably already know this, but when Justin is referring to calendars, what happens is the bills are filed, usually companion bills on each House and Senate. It goes through the committees, and in the House, in order for it to get scheduled, to get on the calendar, to get scheduled for floor debate, it has to go through an additional committee called Committee on Calendars. And if it doesn't get through that committee or through it fast enough, then there is no opportunity for that particular bill to move forward. And that's what the deadline is all about. Bills that are on the calendar right now already may not make it through the process. And certainly any new ones that are put in the calendar won't.
As of last update, the House was still working on Monday's calendar on third reading bills. So it's a slow process, and there's going to be a lot of bills that are sitting on calendars already for floor debate that won't make it through the rest of the process come midnight tomorrow night, when all House bills have to be out of the House and out of second reading. So,
and just to share again another insight on that, when we talk about third reading, usually each chamber requires the bill to be discussed in three separate forums. The second one is where there's most debate, but it has to go through three steps in the chamber before it can move out.
Another bill I want to brief y'all on, one that TPA was very proud to take the lead on this session on behalf of pharmacy. We work very closely with our other organizations representing pharmacy, and it's the biosimilars bill, House Bill 751. Got a little bit of a surprise on that one last week when an unknown amendment was put on in the Senate. All parties, stakeholders that were involved in the bill were not advised that this amendment would be tacked on. As a result of that, the bill's gone to conference. We're still waiting though on the Senate to give a concur with going to conference. Dr. Zerwas asked on the 11th to get a conference committee formed. Now just waiting on Senate action. Dr. Zerwas would like the amendment that was placed on the 11th taken off. My general sense from discussions with the few folks I've had over in the Senate is that there's a little appetite in the Senate to really fight that one out. So we're hopeful that that gets cleared up pretty easy and that bill can get concurred on both the House and the Senate and head its way to the governor.
Yeah,
it's a good compromise.
And that is an important bill. We've been addressing this issue now for the third session in a row. And this one seems to be the fairest that we've been able to negotiate for pharmacy. And when Justin mentioned conference committee, conference committees usually are formed when the House version and the Senate version don't match. And the sponsors of each one of those bills aren't interested in accepting what was changed in the other chamber. So conference committees tend to be made up of usually 3 members from each of the chambers, including the sponsor. They get together, talk it out, decide what they want to do, and then that one recommendation goes to both chambers for ratification.
The last bill I really wanted to try to touch on today is our epinephrine bill, House Bill 1550, passed out of the House unanimously, 145 votes in favor, 0 against. It was a great opportunity, a great show of support by the House members, and we got a hearing today in Health and Human Services, and we had Renee Garza, our TPA president-elect, testified for us, and actually shared a story from our current president, Charlotte Weller, a very personal story involving her son, where a pharmacist saved her son's life when she administered an epinephrine shot when her son had gone into anaphylactic shock. Literally and truly saved her son's life. That resonated. It was great that we could share that story with the committee. Senator Zaffarini complimented us on that very compelling testimony and thanked us for having a good bill. We also had Senator Dr. Campbell signaled that she would also vote in favor of this bill, which was a good thing. Dr. Campbell is very hesitant on issues that could be perceived as getting into issues that don't involve a particular practice setting. So it was a good thing for her to step in and support pharmacy. And next step is to get the committee to vote it out and get it onto the Senate floor and hopefully on its way to the governor's desk.
And if you don't recall, this particular bill would allow pharmacists to administer the epinephrine in emergency situations and have the liability protections. This is a significant step forward. And those are the three or four bills that we have today. And as we mentioned, we're going to have a much longer coverage of maybe twice to 3 times as many bills. But we thank you for taking the time to listen and give us some feedback. We're trying this kind of off the cuff, as you can probably tell, and we would appreciate your feedback, and certainly couldn't close without thanking Justin for all the hard work that he's been a part of for now nearly 140 days. We're anxious to see this thing end, believe us.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be in the Capitol representing you as pharmacists. Thank you.